All right, we are all over this. Shout out where you're from. Shout out where you're from. Hello, hello, you wonderful people. Oh my God. Hi, how you doing? For those of you that have seen my content, you already know who I am. I'm Xavier, the relationship coach, and I'm always here to talk about what's going on and give you the real tea. Okay, that's what the kids say now, right? They say tea. Because I believe in being transparent. I believe in honesty, and I believe in love. Right? I still believe in it, regardless of where the divorce rate is going, and regardless of what people are saying on social media. We're gonna tell you the truth so you can know how to navigate in a way that I've helped thousands of people. So let's go ahead and do it. Hello, Toronto, South Africa, Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go, Atlanta. I'm gonna be in Atlanta probably soon. Hello, hello. England, London, all over. I got a lot of people who have accents, right? You guys have accents? I'm not gonna do the accent. I'm not gonna do it. Next time. Can relationships come back from disrespect? That's a very broad question. I would say there have been relationships that have come back from disrespect. So yes, it's very possible. But it depends. It depends more on the person getting disrespected, and then that's a very broad question, though. I think it depends on what's considered to be disrespectful, right? Everybody has something different. Single mom dating a guy 3 years. He wants to move me in and pay for everything, but not help with anything. Uh, well, leave? I don't know. I mean, does that sound like a bad deal to you? How long have you known him? You said dating a guy for 3 years? Okay, so you've been dating him for 3 years. How has he been acting during this dating process? You've had 3 years to figure him out. So the bigger question is, in those 3 years, have you seen how he behaves with you? And is that behavior that he's had for the last 3 years good enough for you to live with? So that's what you can do is instead of just moving in with him, have a practice run, right? Spend a week or two together, get an Airbnb and see what that looks like. Get your trial run before you just move in, because you never know, there might be a totally different experience from what you guys are expecting. You have beautiful eyes, sir. Watching from God. Thank you so much, Faith. I appreciate you. How flattering. How flattering. How am I supposed to go no contact if we have a child together? You don't. You don't. Now, of course, that doesn't mean you have to talk about everything, but you guys are going to have to talk. If you have shared custody, you can't go no contact, but you can go limited contact. You can make it so that you don't have to speak about every single thing. So you can draw boundaries on certain conversations. Dated a guy who always suspected me of cheating. Well, that is not a good, healthy guy. And if you dated, I'm guessing that means past tense, it's over. That was for the best. How to get my fiance to stop talking to someone he left me for when I was 7.5 months pregnant. You don't. That's not your job. That's your fiance's job. And you might want to reconsider fiance, because if he's talking to someone that makes you feel, upset, and he's not heeding to that, and especially if he has a history of leaving you for this person, well, then it's not up to you. All you can do is request it, and if he still wants to do it, then he's going to do it. You can't make anyone do anything. All you can do is control yourself. So what you can say is, I don't want to entertain someone that feels like they want to entertain someone that they cheated on me with or that they left me for. You have every right to walk away. But I think the bigger thing is you don't want to walk away. I wonder if he's just insecure or guilty. Why are you his therapist? Why are you his therapist? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he's insecure. It doesn't matter if he's guilty. It doesn't matter if he's, figuring himself out. That's not your job. And I'm going to tell you ladies on here right now, stop signing up to be a guy's therapist and his girlfriend, okay? That only puts you into the mothering position and the parenting position where you end up servicing him. He needs to go figure that out. That's his job to figure out and to get back to you. That's not your job. So I'm going to tell you, if you want a healthy relationship, learn to let go of a dude's why. Trying to learn about a guy's why individually is not going to help you. It's only going to make things worse. Now, it's good to know what doesn't work for you. That's what matters more. But when you sit around saying, well, I'm trying to figure out why he did this and why he was insecure, or maybe he was guilty, for what? Then you're going to solve it? You're going to tell him what it is? Let's say you do figure it out. Let's put the ball back in your court. Let's say you meet a guy that you really like and he has a little problem and you can't figure out where the problem is coming from. And then you figure it out. What do? You tell him, hey, I figured out that this is the reason. You're just a little insecure. You think he's going to be like, oh yeah, thanks. I'm going to fix it now. Nah, he's going to be like, you know what? I still don't believe you. Because the problem is not that it's coming from a special place that he can fix. The problem is he doesn't care to fix it. If he did care to fix it, he wouldn't keep doing it. I have a 5-month-old. I am seeing that mask came off. He's a narc and he's manipulative. Together for 5 years. It's a time to walk away on my own. If you are unhappy with your relationship and you feel like there's no room for it to be improved and you've tried everything you can, then you feel like leaving is the best option, then that's what you got to do. But make sure you're just confident about it, because if you're not, you might end up circling the block and it's going to make you lose more power. Hello, London. See, I did the accent. See, y'all did this to me. Y'all did this, okay? I don't do accents. I'm just playing. You guys didn't do anything. That's super gaslighty, right? That's super gaslighty. What do you do if a guy never calls but is only on WhatsApp with me? I asked him to call, but he doesn't. I mean, I look at it this way. Let's remove the details, right? Let's remove the fact that it's only through WhatsApp and not through a call. I would say, why can't he accommodate what you need? And why do you have to keep accommodating what he needs? Maybe this is your time to draw a boundary. Maybe this is your time to say, I'm sorry, I don't like talking on WhatsApp that much. If you want to talk to me, you're going to have to call. That's how you have to draw boundaries. You got to say, look, because if you just keep doing what he wants and he's not doing what you want, you're designing a relationship where your needs are not important, where your needs are not a priority. So you're going to have to just stop WhatsApping him and tell him, look, I don't want to do WhatsApp today. Like, I want to call. And if you can't do that, then I don't want to talk. You got to be ruthless out here, man. It's too many people that are crazy. I'm keeping it real. There's too many people that are selfish, that are manipulative, that do not care. So our best bet is to be a little bit more ruthless in our dating process. You got to be a little bit colder. I don't want to walk away. You're right. I don't want to raise the kids in a broken home. See, I knew it. But see, here's the thing. You want to know why I knew? Because that's too big for someone who doesn't have kids with someone, right? If you didn't have kids with him, it'd be all on you. But see, now it's like I have a kid, which makes sense. And I commend you for thinking about your kids. That's a beautiful thing. However, the consequences will follow. If you're doing it for the kids, then that means you're going to take pain from your husband or fiance in order to accommodate your children. If you're not okay with that, I don't know what to say, but that's what's going to come with it. I have been with someone for a long time. He has lived with me for a long time. And then he claimed a long time. And then he claimed that he had to go to cousin place for a doctor's appointment. He ended up lying and saying I'm cheating. So he is. Okay. What do you want me to say about that? To introduce me to his family before I show that I'm dressing modestly and committing to converting religion. Well, that's his requirement. He needs to know that you're his family, at least. He cares about what his family thinks, which is number one. And this is something that he obviously feels like you need to do in order to be a part of his life. And you have every right to say no. But I would say if you're not trying to be more modest for him is what he's requiring, or convert to his religion or act like you're converting, then I'm not sure if you want to entertain this long term. He cares a lot about what his family thinks. By the way, if you want to work with me one-on-one, I only have about one, I think maybe two spots available. They fill up really quick. I have a special going on. Make sure you go ahead and send me a DM with the hashtag word ready if you want me to take you on one-on-one, but it fills up very fast. So I just got a new opening this week, so make sure you jump on it as quickly as possible or you will be out. I was once in a talking stage with someone who was rushing to marry me. When I told him I'm not comfortable with that. Rushing, he blocked me. Well, I mean, he wasn't for you. How do I do to deal with a man that disappears after we have intention to seeing each other again and gone the next day until now? He might come back, and I'd like to acknowledge the next day until now. What is the next day until now? How long did he leave? In the beginning stages, dating is always kind of wacky, so you're going to have to give people a little bit more grace. I don't know how long. If you say like a day or so, I don't know how long you've been dating. Like, I got questions. Is there a meaning when a guy writes your name in a text to you, in a text message to you? No, some people just do that. Why does he keep pictures of naked females, including his exes and all the females he has slept with? Because he wants that. He takes pride in that, and he thinks that he wants to hold on to it. The bigger question is, what do you think is going to happen with this kind of guy if you date him? You're next. You're next. If he did care to fix it, he would. 100%. But see, here's the reason why, and I know that y'all might want to, chop my head off for this, but a lot of these guys don't care because they aren't required. Unless you're ready to leave and unless you're ready to be done, a lot of these guys are not going to take you serious. I'm just keeping it real with you. As long as you stay in a relationship and you say the same thing over and over and over for months and months and months, and then you don't walk away, these dudes are like, she don't care. If she really did, she would have been out. You know how many dudes I've had actually say that to me that were like, well, I mean, if she cared enough, she would have been gone, but she's sticking around. I just got to put up with her talking to me about it and nagging, and then I go right back to it. That's what they're saying. So at some point, like, you got to ask yourself, is it that, he's not doing it because he doesn't care, or is it that he doesn't have an incentive to care? Because it can even go that far. There's no incentive. He says I'm unstable when I can't handle the fact that he gaslights me and then doesn't take responsibility. Well, that's confusing for all of us. Why would a guy say your heart and mind is not in sync? I don't know. I need a situation. Totally agree. Not only will she take her husband. Thank you for that. I'm going to have a talk with him and see where it goes. Left my narc a year ago. He's abandoned our 4-year-old, but I'm so thankful there is light at the end. There's always light at the end. The light is getting away from a narc. Do you see Danny and I getting back together? Who's Danny? Who are you? I don't know who you are. Were you my client? Totally agree. Not only girl is woman takes pain from her husband, she's creating a generation for work with the children team. We learn and repeat. He told me he doesn't want to get married because he's afraid to go through the same things that his exes did to him before. Well, he's obviously not healed, and that's going to be our first problem. A man like this should not be in a relationship if he's not healed. Is it his mental health issue or is it him? I'm 48, he's 40. No, it's him. That's not a mental health issue. It's an excuse. If he knows he has problems based on what happened with his ex, then why isn't he in therapy? Why isn't he in counseling? Why is that all of a sudden coming up? I think he's using it as an excuse to not marry you. Because if he was really bothered by this, he would have gotten something done. He's not bothered. He just keeps making excuses. See, some people don't need to go to therapy because they're too busy making excuses. Why would I go to therapy if every time I make an excuse, someone gives me a pass? See, no incentive. Again, I can go to therapy, or you can just keep learning to deal with me and my shortcomings. And I'll just keep making up this sob story that I'm broken because of my ex. And I'll keep using that as a reason to not give you the relationship that you deserve. No matter what effort you make, I can always lean back on the fact that I had a bad situation with my ex. And then I'm gonna keep blaming my ex as if I did nothing wrong because I'm totally innocent, right? I'm totally innocent. My exes were all bad. I was always the good one. So yeah, I'm gonna keep using that as a way to get out of having to be what you need. There's no reason to go to therapy. Been 4 days, been dating for 1 month. So you dated for a month and he ghosted you for 4 days? Well, here's what I think. A month is still pretty early, but it's definitely long enough if you've been consistent to say, hey, just wondering, like, we haven't spoken in 4 days. What's going on? I wouldn't make him out to be a problem, though, because I'm learning about him. You need 3 to 4 months to start saying you at least kind of get their pattern. 1 month, you might just be discovering his pattern. It feels like you have to turn down 100 men nowadays. It feels exhausting. Yeah, you do. Yes, you absolutely got it. Let's look up how many diagnosed male narcissists there are in the USA, right? How many diagnosed male narcissists are there in? So we're going to look, right? Because you're going to like this. These are statistics that we're pulling up. Okay. All right, so there's about 2%, 1% or 2%, 2.6 million men. So let's just break it down. Let's say 2 million men. Let's say the population of your state or your area is about 200,000. You got to get real good at turning men down. You got to get real good at turning men down. And that's not to say that narcissistic men can't change, because they can. Everybody can change. However, or most people can change. However, you have to understand, a lot of people aren't willing to change. And I'm going to be honest with you, ladies, you're not going to like this one either. I feel like when you feel like you got to change a guy, you're not feeling him no more. You got to find a man that you don't want to change. You got to find a man that you want to add to. When you find a man that you want to change and you don't see yourself adding to him, but you feel yourself wanting to change him, it's already over. He was very toxic, promised to change, and there's been a couple of months he seems to have changed, but he just keeps hiding things better. I don't know if he's hiding things better. Asking for a friend, what does it mean when a married man is ready to cheat on his wife? That means he's not ready to be married. My friend and him were college friends and been in love with her. Is that because he's not happy in his marriage? It could be. I don't know. I don't know his situation. But I would say if he's trying to cheat, then it sounds like he's just not good for a marriage. You shouldn't, before you get married, it should be absolute bliss. What is this I want to cheat stuff? Like what? You think that's going to get better after marriage? It's going to get worse. Husband waited until married me to tell me his previous longest relationship, they were swingers. He said if I knew, I wouldn't have married him. Boy, annulment tastes real sweet, doesn't it? Annulment is a crazy word. Annulment should be served on a silver platter. Name my kids annulment, annul and mint, right? I caught him in another lie and he discarded me. Well, I would have annulled. What is the point of being in a relationship nowadays? It does not work out usually. So here's the thing. Relationships aren't working out because there are a lot of people who are not aware. And there are a lot of people who are selfish. There are a lot of people who are misinformed. So it's not failing because people aren't trying, right? Love is natural. It's natural to want a pair bond, and it's natural for people to want to be together. However, That doesn't mean that a lot of people have the equipment to do it. You need a lot of tools, and you need a lot of willpower and patience, and a lot of people don't have those things. So it's not that relationships is failing. It's not that marriage itself is a failure spot. It's the people. It's the same thing like when they blame people under a religion. They say, oh, the religion doesn't work. Christianity doesn't work. Muslim doesn't work. Or Sikhism or Buddhism. It's not the religion. Sometimes it's usually the people. So instead of looking at the concept of relationships, look at what the people are doing. Because 9 out of 10, when you hear people talk, you'll hear, I overlooked red flags. I thought I could change someone that's not changeable. I wanted to get my way and I couldn't have it. I was upset and I was prideful. I was egotistical. I was self-serving. I wasn't being appreciative enough. Like, you got to look at what people do. So I would say I still have faith in relationships. I still have faith in marriage. You just got to be really careful about the people. And if you get impatient and you start overlooking red flags, then that's okay. But understand the consequences are not going to just go away. How do I show my man that I'm supportive of him? That's actually a really good question. That's a very healthy question. I have tried all the ways that I know how and have looked up new ways to be better. I have never had this issue before. Well, first off, that's his job to tell you. You shouldn't have to look it up on your own. He should be transparent enough to let you know what he needs. Okay? So if he's not communicating that, then you won't be able to. You're not a mind reader. And you can go on the internet all day long. But here's the thing. It's one thing for you to be willing to do this, which is a beautiful thing. But not only does he have to tell you, he has to be wanting to receive that. Right? Some people don't even want to receive that kind of support. So you could be doing the right thing, but if he's not willing to let you in, then it doesn't matter. So number one, does he want to let you in? Does he want to receive it? And number two, has he told you what he needs? And are you doing exactly what he needs, right? Why is he okay with talking to his exes and still say how bad they hurt him? Well, because he's still attracted to them. That's what I'm saying. If someone treated you that bad, you wouldn't want to talk to them. There's clearly something about them that he likes. That's why he hasn't given them up. Otherwise, he would have been done. He's still good with them. And that's where you got to question. Is it that they treated him bad? Or is it that there's something about it that he's attracted to? You can't force a man to change. He needs to change on his own, 100%. And here's the thing, you shouldn't have to force it. Let me tell you how you know you're truly in power here. When you can just tell him what you need and he just changes it. You don't have to keep going at it. You don't have to keep saying it all the time. Well, I'm gonna need you to do this. I'm gonna need you to do this. I'm gonna need you to do this. You won't have to. If that man loves you and he respects you, number one is respect, right? If he respects you, he's gonna say, oh man, I don't wanna do that. Let me fix that immediately. He needs to think of you like he thinks of his boss at his job. If I make her mad, I'm in trouble. He needs to feel like that. If he doesn't feel like that, that's not the man for you. I always say you have a better chance of seeing a dinosaur than giving someone a chance. How to know if a man is good? How should we test him or observe him? Well, that is not a universal question because everybody has a different idea of good. So you'd have to talk to me personally to find out what your idea of good is and then see how to measure that out. So what I would say is we can go across some basic stuff, which I feel like you might already know, but it's different for everybody. You need to learn, everyone on here, you need to learn what your idea of good is. Don't look for anyone else's idea of good. Learn what yours is, because yours may not be the same as someone else's. I let him go after he refuses to act right. Now he's coming back to call and text me. Yeah, because he doesn't want to be the loser. I've been with this guy for 5 years, and I haven't met anyone in his family. I don't know where he lives. He doesn't spend time with me. He knows my family and comes to my place and he wants. So I'm going to ask you this question, and I'm going to flip it around back to you. Why did you date a man for 5 years that didn't introduce you to his personal life? Because, you're saying it like You haven't met it, but why did you do that? Why not once did you make it a requirement? Why am I never chosen? That's a very generic or general question. I don't know. I'd have to learn about you. There's probably some specific reasons, but you'd have to talk to me privately. I let him go after he refuses to act right now. He's coming back. Yeah, I already answered that. I left a man because he kept saying his mama this and and that all time, which is funny. And I'm self-driven lady, and I always wanted to be successful. He said I'm masculine. Was I wrong to leave? I don't know. That I don't think this is enough information for me to say whether you should leave or not. I think if he says you're masculine and you don't agree or accept that and you feel insulted by that, and that's been your relationship. See, I need to know. I can't say anything because I feel like you're telling me a little bit of information and I feel like I need more because I need to know what you said to him, how you might have made him feel, and in return. That feels like one of those things where I think both of you might have played into it because I don't want to just take one side because I'm hearing bits and pieces. You know what I mean? I want to keep it real because I would be doing you a disservice if I just took one answer and said, yeah, unless it's something extreme, you know? I let him go. Yeah, I already answered that. When I used to ask my ex-husband how he wants me to express that I love him, he said, cook me good food. Well, isn't this looking to be served? Sometimes he'd say, I don't know, figure it out. He wants me to remember. Well, here's the thing. Some people's love languages is acts of service. So, and that could be man or woman. Sometimes women like to be cooked for. Some like men like to be cooked for. I don't think it's, but I think if they say, I mean, if you understand the concept of love languages, and you'll have to understand that some people experience love in different ways, right? Like for me, it could be words of affirmation. I like to be complimented. If I'm not complimented, then I feel like, I don't really feel the love as much. Now, granted, they're supposed to love you unconditionally to an extent, but at the same time, some people have ways they like to be loved that they can generate those feelings. And honestly, I feel like if you're their husband or their wife, then you should be happy to serve them because love is servitude to an extent. It's love is an action word. It's what I do. It's not just, oh, I just say it. No. How are you showing me that you love me and how am I showing you that I love you? We both serve each other. So yes, it is normal for two people to serve each other in a marriage and in a relationship. That's basically part of the foundation. What does it mean when an ex tries to talk to you and you don't talk to him? I don't know. It just means you don't talk to him. I might need more information. He's still attracted to easy females who show off their bodies, and I'm the opposite. So why doesn't he let me go? Because you don't let him go. That was easy. How doesn't he let me go? You're complaining about all the stuff about him, yet you're still there. Let's just keep it 100. Out of love, you have all these problems with him talking about other women and having naked women on his phone, but you're still in the relationship. And you're saying he won't let you go like he's got handcuffs to you. You're not letting go. You have just as much say as he does. You're not powerless. So the real question is, why don't you let go? Tried to talk to him. He always making excuses and saying he will do better, but he ain't done nothing right. Well, then he does it. If you stay after that, then that means he doesn't respect you. That is so true. I used to ask my ex all the time, can I meet his family? Can I meet the family 2 years later? Then 2 months later, after he puts me out, then say I cheated on him. When a man tells you he's not good and only wants a bad girl because he doesn't deserve a good woman, is he really bad? Oh, he's telling you exactly who he is. Because let me tell you something. If a man is actually a good dude and he wants to make a good impression, he's not going to say stuff like that. Girl, you better run. He's telling you exactly who he is. I noticed every time I tried to pry about his exes or ask what he's into, he avoids talking too much about past relationships. And he avoids saying he has a type. Is this a green flag? I think it's a good thing not to always talk about your exes too much. I do think that's good. You don't want a relationship based on exes. Like that's in the past. That's before you. That's before we were a thing. I think it's better that you just don't bring up exes. I think that's actually a good thing. How are you so morally grounded and emotionally intelligent as you don't find this kind of caliber? Oh, wow, that's one heck of a compliment. Thank you. I struggle with my own stuff every now and then. I'm not perfect at all, but I think that I just don't like messing up. I think that's one of my main that's good about me and also bad about me is I hate messing up. So when I'm wrong in a relationship and someone tells me that I'm the problem, it really affects me. And I don't have pride really. So I don't have an ego. So I'm open to hearing what I need to do. Like if people are willing to sit me down and tell me what I need to do, I listen. So that's probably why. Like I just really don't like getting it wrong. And I always want to be the best I can be, not only for myself, but for someone else. Because what I would hate is to make the idea of making someone else miserable that's trying to do right by me is actually very hurtful to me. So I don't want to do that. Maybe it's empathy. I don't know. I'm not a fan of ultimatums. I want to do couples therapy, and he says he will, but then nothing comes from it. I have reflected on this and debated to leave, but it's easier said than done. Any advice? Maybe you need some more time to skew over the details. You might want to work with me. I don't know. But it sounds like you need a little bit more confidence in your decisions. Can we not clone you and export you to South Africa as we not primitive in thought or Neanderthal thing? Here's the thing. I'm gonna tell you right now because I hear ladies say stuff like this, which is beautiful and I appreciate that. But you might think you want a guy like me. But let me tell you what happens with someone like me. It can be tough because since I am aware of so much, I can see things very clearly, right? So I'm not perfect and I take accountability. But you have to ask yourself, if you're not good at taking accountability, you would not like me. I'm gonna tell you that right now. If you get very defensive or you feel like you have to stand your ground on things that's not true or not correct, if you're not willing to face correction or to face accountability in any shape or form, you won't like me. I'm gonna keep it real because I live in a space of always being accountable and always trying to be better. I'm always a student, and I feel like that's what I need in a partner. So if you're like, oh no, I don't want to own up to anything, trust me, you don't want a guy like me. I will hold you accountable, and I hope you hold me accountable as well. I hope we help each other. Okay, so if someone always wants to be served but doesn't serve you or financially support you, is that okay? Should we be going with someone who has the same love language? I believe you can have different love languages, but love languages in general have some type of servitude regardless of which one you pick, right? So if you think of the 5 love languages, actions, words of affirmations, quality time, gifts. There's so many different ones. They're all acts of service. So if you're serving all the way and that person isn't doing it in return, if you're not receiving reciprocation, then it sounds like you two are not equally yoked. So if you two are not equally yoked, then it's probably not going to work. Yeah, you guys have to be equally yoked. So yeah, and you have to understand, ladies, is that I got this way from years of training. Like I didn't before I went through my training and before I got certified, before I, went through multiple counselors, multiple therapists, I was absolutely awful at dating. I was the worst boyfriend you can imagine. So this came with a large amount of learning and processing and failing and learning again. So I went through a lot. So not saying someone can't be this way and not do those things, but I would just say like it's kind of like it took a lot of manufacturing. This guy is making me nervous because I like him, but he says he's not doing well and is depressed. He doesn't care about anything, but I'm a good person and he never talked to me. I talked to him. I don't know what you want me to say about that. Okay, thank you. Absolutely. Like I said, and I'll repeat it again for those of you that want to work with me, I have limited spots. Okay, limited. So if you want to work with me directly, go ahead and send me a DM with the hashtag word ready and do it right now. It's first come, first serve, right? So I got like 1 or 2 spots available. What kind of therapy do you recommend so I can recommend it to the person I know? Good question. Well, here's the first thing is what person are you recommending it to? Because I would say one of them is definitely, see, a lot of these people, it's not that they need to go to therapy. Sometimes they just need to learn how to be in a relationship. So sometimes these people, I would recommend a lot of people who are single go to marriage counseling. Learn how to be good for a marriage, even though you're not married, even if you don't have a partner. Go to marriage counseling. Find out why you keep dating in the wrong ways, right? Find out why things keep messing up. That's what I first learned from. But at the same time, a lot of my stuff comes. That was my first introduction into learning about this stuff was marriage counseling. My grandfather was a marriage counselor, so I grew up with this energy. It is my pleasure to listen to so mature, strong person with empathy, wisdom, and growth. Wow, you're so sweet. Thank you so much. Back to you, girl. It takes one to know one, right? It takes one to know one. You're very sweet. As I live in reality and would love someone who can constructively conversate and I don't carry ego as I firmly rooted and wow, calling it out equally yoked. And yes, if we can't admit it, it speaks 100%. Is he bad? Do I have to talk to him more or let him go? He told me he cannot have a good woman because he is bad man. He's telling you who he is. Believe him. I have told him to leave and he says that he is not trying to lose me because he loves me. Not trying to lose me because he loves me. Do we need therapy, marriage counseling? Yeah, 100%. Yeah, y'all need it. Because if you're not making each other happy, then what are you doing? How do men remain interested in a woman? Well, that's a tough question because not all men are the same, right? So that's not a universal question. I would say people stay interested in people for various reasons. Various reasons. It's not all the same. That's a very general question. I would be to the person I co-parent with. It would be to the person I co-parent with. Thank you. I will send over the recommendation. Absolutely. If a guy says that we will be hurting if we do end up together and not ready to be married, needs a year, does this mean he's not serious? Well, it just means what it means, right? It means he's not ready to be married and he needs a year. I don't know if it means he's not serious. I think whether he's serious or not, you can tell when you're dating him. Like, how is he getting ready? What is he doing? What are the action steps? If he's just doing the same thing he's been doing this whole time and says, I need to get ready, and he's not getting ready, like the act of getting ready typically means that there are steps, right? Like, if he's not taking any steps or showing you any evidence of what that's going to look like, then you might be spinning your wheels here. I would ask him, what does that look like? What do we need to do? How do we make you ready? If he just says, oh, I just need time, I don't know, man. I wouldn't take that serious. So he told me he is bad. Can he ever be a good man again? Girl, he told you what he wants you to know. He told you how to look at him, and he told you where he's at. Either you're going to accept that and you're going to move on with your life, or you're going to take the bad man. But as a lot of ladies can tell you in this chat, these men don't change. But you got to think of it this way. He told you he's a bad man, right? If you take him, then now his view of you is you date bad men. Why would he change? Why would he change for you? You accept bad men. If you don't like bad men, you would have walked away. So he's going to feel like I don't have to change. I changed for a woman that wants a good man. If you would have walked away and said, well, I need a good man, I can't deal with this, and you would have walked, that's what it is. So he's going to think he could stay the way he is if you stay with him. There's going to be no reason to change. My ex came back after 6 months and we are working it out. I just get anxious sometimes and hope he's being true to me. I don't know if it's the right thing. I feel it is. He is showing he changed. Well, I mean, the only way you can know is by sticking it through, right? And the anxiety is understandable. But just know that this is just what it is for now. Well, good to see you, girl. It's been a minute. It's been a minute. Hope you've been well. Great insights as always, Xavier. Great to see you. You seem swell. It's been a while. I feel like our mindsets on a lot of our beliefs is what truly help us know if we can work through a relationship with someone. I would agree. It is aligned to the values, perception, and what they want out of life to the person who asks what keeps a man interested. Exactly. Good answer. It is not universal. Not every woman is attracted to the same thing. Not every man is attracted to the same thing. So that's when it becomes more of a people thing, right? It becomes more down to the person than the individual. You have to remove gender and all that stuff and just say, what is this person interested in? For all your advice, absolutely. Why would a man agree to pay for you but not commit into marriage? Agree to pay for you but not commit into marriage. Is that just because he's being nice or financially controlling? There's no commitment. I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I mean, do you feel controlled? Do you feel controlled? I don't know. I don't know. How long have we been doing this thing? Let me check the timing here. 43 minutes. We are getting it in. I did feel controlled. Well then, maybe. Yeah, see, at the end of the day, it's like people are going to be who they are, but what matters more is we have to give people back responsibility for why they do and what they do. We got to give people back that responsibility. Because what we do is we say, oh, how can we make them better? How can we change them? How can we serve them? Girl, you need to serve yourself. Girl, you need to get that energy back instilled back into you. You know, that person, no. I make more than my partner and that bothers him. I know that's a him thing, but how do I end these conversations from happening? You can't. You can't. That's on him. All you can do is say, hey, I don't really want to talk about this anymore. I'm over it. And move on. If he's not accepting of that, it's not on you. But like I said, go ahead and if you send me a DM with the hashtag word ready if you want to qualify, if you want to see if you qualify to work with me. Why soon to be ex-husband left and was in a relationship 2 weeks with his nutritionist coach. Now he wants our kids to hang out with her. Well, it sounds like he just liked her. I mean, that I feel like that's pretty simple. It sounds like he just wants to be with her and he wants to entertain a life with her. Why are you asking? You think it's something to do with you? Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I wish it were that way. He has a lot of healing to do. Now we have a kid and I'm trying to make it work. He is trying. So I stay, but sometimes it isn't enough. If a man says, I can't keep committed to you and another person during the breakdown of the marriage, does that mean he's already had someone? Did he stop talking? Did you ask him? I don't know. That sounds really cryptic. I would ask him. No, but our kids don't want to hang out with her and he gets angry. Well, it sounds like he wants his way. I'm in a situation with my ex-boyfriend. We broke up 6 months ago and we are trying it differently. How are you trying it differently? Your answers are nuanced and hilarious sometimes. I don't always get, sometimes these questions are hard to answer because there isn't a good answer. Like some of these questions have like a whole story behind them. Someone will be like, should I leave? My husband's bad. And I'm like, how is he bad? How long has this been happening? What situations has happened? Like these questions take a whole session to probably uncover. And that's why it's like, well, what are you going to do? And I don't want to give bad answers. So unless it's like really obvious, like, my ex was physically abusive, what should I do? I'm like, leave, right? No guy should ever put his hands on you. He would hide his phone. And when I asked him, he said, no other person is in the picture. but then complain about how we are not in sync. It sounds like you got a lot to talk about. Sounds like you need a session. Because it's like the more we unravel this, the more situations I'm being put through. I feel like I might need a whole picture together, you know? Thank you for the wisdom you shared. Your words guided me through my separation all the way to court, and I won. It had been a relationship with a narcissistic person and never believed things would. I love to hear that. I love to hear that things went better for you and that you got out of a toxic situation and you won. That's what I'm here for. Holy smokes. I'm trying to decode his action, but nothing added up. Well, you probably need more than just talk through this live. I overcame my toxic ex thanks to you. Thank you so much. That is so sweet of you to say. Thank you. I love to hear it, y'all. I love to hear that y'all are making progress and you're making moves because I've helped you. Blessed to heal from a guy who couldn't, claimed I told his business, he had a kid, didn't want his own issues, so he walked. I'm better for it. Painting a full portrait, yeah. Can a guy like and be ashamed of flaunt you or flaunt you in public? Yeah, that is very true. There's guys that do that where they will like you in private, but they are ashamed in public for whatever reason. I don't know. Turn in my favor. I had lost hope, but through your guidance, I found myself again. You're truly a gift from God. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, more questions, y'all. We're almost reaching about an hour. Guys, it has been an awesome session today. We got to spend time together. We got to talk. We got to talk about different things. Hopefully, I helped a lot of y'all today. And as you know where to find me if you want to apply to work with me. Is cheating normal to men? No. No, I don't think cheating is normal to people. I think that that's something that, now here's the thing, it can be normalized to certain people. But I don't think that cheating is normal to all men. No. Cheating isn't normal to me. I'll say that. Cheating is actually very wild to me. I don't believe in that at all. I missed out on my question. I asked about him accusing me, and I'm here with my 10-year-old son. I don't, yeah. I mean, you'll have to get a session because that says too much. You know, like that. I need more backstory. My ex says he wants to come back, but not right now. Your ex is completely unstable. And I say this to her, y'all, because I know her ex. Your ex is unstable. All right, y'all. Well, I'm going to go ahead and drop off. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Remember to send me a DM with the hashtag word ready if you want to chat or if you want to see if you can apply to work with me. And I will talk to you soon. Love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, everybody.